5 Weather Authority.
The Rob Carson Show is presented by Paramount Plus.
You don't need to live with aches and pains. Visit relieffactor.com today.
You are about to hear the most interesting, informative, thought-provoking, and funny show in America. On air and on the World Wide Web. This is the Rob Carson Show.
This is the Rob Carson Show. Welcome to a Thursday edition. Yes, my friends, T-minus 1 day until Friday. Man, this shirt is red. Holy crud, I haven't really been paying attention to the shirt that I wore today. On the live streamers are seeing it's a bright red shirt. Bright red shirt. My gosh. It doesn't look too bad, actually. Doesn't look too bad. There you go. Anyway, welcome to the show. Please come inside and thank you for a good night's sleep. You guys, I can feel you helping me, and I appreciate you very much. So I'll just say that right now off the top of the show. The night before last night, I had a very good sleep, and I attribute that to the support and the prayer and the positives that you're sending my way. It's been overwhelming. No, it's not overwhelming. It's beautiful. So thank you so much. Thank you so much. Guess what? We're not going to have Vindman to kick around anymore. Remember Vindman, all of these guys who were all about taking down Donald Trump, the resistance of Donald Trump.
Clearly, Putin has a type. He likes narcissists and egomaniacs that he knows as a case officer he could easily pander to and manipulate to do his dirty work. We are under attack. Russia has been using different levers, whether that's corruption networks. In this case, it's influencers like Donald Trump, like Elon Musk.
And all of it was a lie. That's Alexander Vindman. He, of course, is part of the anti-Trump resistance that got its rear end kicked this year big time. Dan Goldman and Vindman, my God, George Conway got his rear end kicked up. He got 6% in New York. You know why all of these guys lost? Mostly because they're absolutely despicable, unlikable people. Al Green, a guy who really needs to shave right under his eyes, his entire cheek. Just show me a beard here somewhere, because you look like you look like hell. Tom Steyer got his butt kicked up between his shoulders. Vindman was a central figure in the first Trump impeachment, made him, like his brother, a fundraising machine. And then, of course, voters that moved on. And that's Angie Nixon was especially fit candidate to beat him. She got to Tallahassee as Trump was leaving office, and there protesting and losing as DeSantis dismantled Democratic Party power and won the culture wars. Impeachment not only didn't stop Trump, the conservative movement was more powerful than Trump. He added, concluding, there's no clear post-Trump Democratic strategy to regain what they've lost since 2016. All right? And I liken this morning, this DSA movement. Everybody's afraid. Don't talk about this, Rob. Don't talk about it's a bad look. It's a bad omen. It's like changing your jersey mid-season as a sports fan. No. I say that this DSA movement right now, if it were a NASCAR race, which is, it's the opposite of a NASCAR race. If they did a race, it would be like with bikes or something. Little girl bikes with sissy bars, a little basket with flowers on the front and the whole deal. But if it were a NASCAR race, the DSA car would have careened in the outside wall and is spinning into the infield right now. There's something about Vindman.
Alexander Vindman, he got beat to a socialist. He suffered defeat. He outspent her 100-1, and now his political career is done. 16 million Vindman spent.
What a turd.
Down the drain is where the money went.
Crab sandwich.
Vindman's a liar, and now he's broke. The voters spoke. They think he's a joke.
Yeah. Did the same thing with Kamala Harris. She was a crab sandwich without the bread.
About Donald Trump, Vindman lied. That is why he ought to be tried. He is guilty of perjury, should not be allowed to walk around free. Spent 16 million and still got creamed. Trump supporters should feel redeemed. voters gave him a big fat no.
Yeah.
He sold his soul, and it's taken a toll.
Yeah, he's the guy that was the guy who overheard the conversation between Trump and the leader of Ukraine that became the subject of the first joke impeachment of Donald Trump. Bye-bye. It's time to flush that turd. I don't have a turd flush sound effects, but whoosh. Oh, he's clogging it up a little. Hold on. It's his big fat head. Hold on. Oh, now it's just okay. I'm starting to kind of puke up a little bit in my mouth there. Oh, whoosh. There goes the rest of it. Bye, Vindman. Thank God I didn't do it in the shower. Here is Angie Nixon. She's, a joke. If you think she's going to win in Florida, where now Republicans outnumber Democrats by 1.6 million people, and a lot of them are expats from Cuba, if you think she's going to win and go to the Senate, you're smoking some serious weed where you are. And this woman is so damn stupid. She just joined the Democrat Party after hearing all the stupid crap that they're for, like getting rid of the police and getting rid of the border and getting rid of jails and getting rid of the Senate. And getting rid of how we elect the president and socialized medicine and grocery stores run by the government. She's an idiot. That's why she just came to it.
Talk about your decision to adopt the Democratic Socialist label, because you've had a couple interviews today.
It's not a label. It's what you are. It's a philosophy.
And you have said it's not about the label, it's about the policies, but it was a choice to align with the DSA, and you did it.
Wow, what a brilliant question. I mean, what really? Saying that you joined the DSA was a choice. No kidding.
Fairly recently during this primary. So why
she just joined?
Did you make that decision?
Yeah.
And do you consider yourself aligned with the Democratic Socialists?
Okay, now prepare for about 40, maybe 40 seconds or so of saying absolutely nothing.
Yeah, so I think it's important to note I did recently make the decision to join the DSA. I also recently made the decision to join the Working Family Party, as well as become a lifetime member of the NAACP.
Okay, sounds like a high school freshman signing up for a bunch of clubs.
And that is because those organizations are working hard in our communities to actually push back on these big corporations that are keeping us down. And
the big corporations are keeping you employed, you moron.
That are hurting us. At the end of the day,
which corporations exactly are keeping us down? Which ones are, as you demand $25 an hour as a minimum wage? As wages, by the way, for minimum wage jobs, it usually start at $16, $15, $18, $20 at Walmart, whatnot. Well, how are they keeping you down?
All of these organizations, the main through line is that they believe in our rights. Our rights.
Oh, no. We certainly don't believe in our rights. I mean, other than, of course, the Bill of Rights, which we our entire lives are based around, and the Constitution of the United States. You moron.
To voting, they believe in our rights.
Everybody should vote except for illegal aliens.
Rights to have access to quality health care.
Yeah, we're actually perfectly fine with that. And honestly, that you act like we don't shows what a moron you are.
They believe in our rights to have access to a good quality public education.
Yeah, well, your public education has been in the crapper because of the Department of Education. We've put trillions of dollars in it. You've got kids in the inner cities graduating, not being able to read. You've got students of color entering Berkeley, not able to do junior high math. Okay, so you've failed on all of that, sunshine. What the hell are you going to do now? Here's a little bit of her. Well, she's an idiot, and she is a radical. There's no fascism here except for if it comes from, Antifa.
The machine and the members will proceed to vote. Have all members voted?
Here she is screaming in the Florida legislature.
Have all members voted? The clerk will lock the machine and announce the vote.
She's a freaking adult toddler.
83 yeas, 28 nays, Mr. Speaker.
Show the bill.
Does that sound like a toddler screaming in the grocery store? Or in the back of the church before mom comes out, gives her a little what for?
Passes. Read the next bill.
No one's allowed in the building right now. Closed building.
She did a sit-in.
Even if I'm a lawmaker.
You cannot be in
For
here.
nothing, by the way.
You can be out there. You can't be in here.
She's a victim.
I'll wait on the governor. I don't care about the rest. I care about the people.
Let me make one thing crystal clear today.
What is it? What?
If they think the threat of a trial is going to
Yeah, because she's got arrested for assaulting an officer.
make me back down, they picked the wrong woman.
I'm going to leave y'all with these words
Oh, what y'all gonna leave us with, y'all?
of a famous freedom fighter before we open it up.
Oh, this is a radical.
Assata Shakur.
Ashada Shakur.
Our chains are
Is it related to Tupac?
them kidnapping our immigrant neighbors.
What?
And locking them up. Our chains are them not arresting corrupt cops that shoot black unarmed men in the streets.
Yeah, that doesn't happen, actually. None of that happens. And we're actually talking about arresting illegal aliens. She's just, I swear to God, I used to say that people like AOC had barely enough, or Kamala Harris, barely enough intelligence to keep their autonomic breathing system going. I'm thinking she has an oxygen machine and something working her diaphragm, because she can't be above 80 as far as the IQ is concerned. On the way, much more on this. Dan Bongino says what happened in Florida on Monday was it Tuesday? It was Tuesday. Was perfect for the Republicans. We got all that coming up. This is the Rob Carson Show.
Rob Carson Show podcast is everywhere. Go to newsmax.com/listen for details.
This could not have gone any better for Republicans last night. We've got a great candidate for governor in Byron Donalds, but having Angie Nixon upset Vindman, who was one of the worst candidates at the top of the ticket. I've been down here in Florida. Listen, I've run for office. I didn't win. It's just a fact. But at least, I showed up and knocked on the doors. Laura, nobody knew who this guy was. He was nowhere. There were no ads. He supposedly raised something in the neighborhood of $16 million. Where did he put it? Like NVIDIA stock or something? Like, what did he do with this money? Nobody saw this guy. No. So, the socialists are taking a victory lap in Florida, but they're misreading Florida politics. It's like Angie Nixon ran against no one, like Casper the Friendly Ghost. There was no other candidate. It's not that the socialists won, it's that Vindman didn't show up. But having a candidate at the top of the ticket in the governor's race, David Jolly, and then Angie Nixon at the top of the ticket on the Senate side in Florida, that has a huge population of Jewish voters, while she's out there campaigning with From the River to the Sea, Rashida Tlaib, and a bunch of Venezuelan and Cuban voters, who some of them, their family, their property was stolen by communists and socialists, been tortured and put in prison. I mean, really, you couldn't have handed a better gift to Republicans.
I know. That's what I was trying to take all in yesterday. It's the perfect storm. Considering, of course, what did DeSantis do to Florida? DeSantis completely flipped Florida. And it's not a swing state anymore. It's a Republican state for sure. And then you got this guy is David Jolly running against the incredible Byron Donalds for governor. And even he says he isn't going to campaign with Angie Nixon. Guys, all of the winners, the Democrat winners who won their primaries, are not going to campaign this woman because they know she's poison.
Look, I reject the DSA. I reject socialism. I'm a capitalist, and I think capitalism provides the greatest amount of economic mobility. I reject socialism. I'm a capitalist. We'll see how Florida's voters sort that out in November.
Are you supportive of her candidacy?
Well, I have not had a chance to talk to Representative Nixon about the issues.
What? Well, that's Debbie Wasserman Schnitz. That's what my buddy Chris Plant he says. He is. Wasserman Schnitz was the word. I just call her a labradoodle after a grooming who hasn't been blown out yet. She's got. It's just crazy. But both of them, they're like, what? I don't know anything about this Angie Nixon or anything. And then there's Jared Moskowitz. He's running for. By the way, he's not related to Fievel Mouskowitz. As a Disney character, actually. But he says that the DSA is nuts.
25% of this district is Jewish. 20% of this district is Hispanic. People have escaped socialism. And when they hear folks from the DSA go on television and talk about, how they want to abolish the Senate, they want to get rid of prisons, no borders. Most Americans hear that stuff and they say, what is going on?
Yeah. What did I tell you from the beginning? We won't let this happen. We're not going to let this take over our freaking country because there's 100 million of us, hillbillies, homeboys, and Hebrews, who are better armed intellectually and physically, and the military is on our side, and veterans are on our side. I could go on and on. These are all a bunch of spoiled, entitled, stupid children who think that all of this stuff is brand new, even though it has been tried and tried again and left hundreds of millions of people in body pits around the world. But hallelujah, Mom, look what I found. Mom standing at the counter. You idiot, you found a rabid bat. Yeah. So take it outside. Honestly, here's some more cray-cray from this Angie Nixon, who has no chance of winning.
What about abolishing prisons, which is one of the platform positions of the national DSA? Do you support?
And if you're down with that at all, it shows that you're unfit as a human being to lead anything.
Support that?
I don't support abolishing prisons. What I do support is abolishing for-profit prisons because they exploit labor.
No, they don't.
And they usher many of our children into the school-to-prison pipeline.
No, actually, what happens is the parents of the children and the cities that they live in, usually Democrat enclaves with bad schools. That's the reason why there's the school-prison pipeline, because when you graduate from school, not being able to read and your parents are complete a-holes, so you end up doing drugs or joining a gang. That's what that's all about.
I'm looking forward to going to Washington, D.C. to provide everyday hardworking people with some relief after
you're going to do that. Okay.
We work to, impeach and I vote to remove Donald Trump. And
good luck with that.
We hold his administration accountable.
For what? Being so successful?
I'm so excited, Kate. I don't understand, there's no
maybe 81 IQ. 80's pushing it.
Sexualization at a drag show is just people dressing up and singing and performing.
Hold on, she said there's no sexualization at a drag show.
I don't understand, there's no sexualization at a drag show. It's just people dressing up and singing and
really, with names like Imelda Mounds.
Performing. I've taken my children to drag shows.
They're nothing but sex.
And
butt sex. Sorry, I didn't mean that.
It's fun. It's entertainment. It's wholesome entertainment. So we are occupying the floor like John Lewis, like all of them.
Yeah, it's 2026. You have an iPhone that costs $1,200.
We're making good trouble. We're doing good trouble.
Oh my God.
We are the people, mighty, mighty people, the mighty, mighty people, fighting for justice.
Oh, yeah, all absolutely meaningless nonsense. Now, it's not 1968 all over again. You're not suffering. You have a $1,200 iPhone. For God's sake, you go to Starbucks and buy a coffee that costs $7 You can watch 1,000 different movies of your choice on your 85-inch big screen TV. Not exactly crossing the bridge in Selma. I mean, honestly. Get over yourself. Dear God. Here's Jen Psaki. Are you ready for some hot sake? Here's Jen Psaki talking to this Angie Nixon about, I don't know if you knew this, but you live in a state where a lot of Cubans escaped communism, and you're espousing communism.
A large population of people who fled countries like Cuba and Venezuela who may have a very unfavorable view of the term socialist, and they may not know you yet.
Yeah.
So what is your message to them?
I want to be clear.
What?
I just recently joined the Democratic Socialists of America. But I'm also a union organizer. I'm a mother.
That's cool. So I lift weights, and I'm a pretty damn good cook. Nice. That's really cool. Unbelievable. And here's her cray-cray on immigration. Again, another one that's going to kill her candidacy.
Here she is telling blacks they're about to get executed by ICE.
Yeah, we'll do this first.
They are going to racially profile us, and they are going to escalate things, and they are going to shoot and kill us, and they are going to get away with it unless we send people like me to Washington, D.C.
Yeah, that was absolutely one of the dumbest things that can come out of a human being's mouth. That ICE is just going to go out and kill black people unless you send me to Washington. Okay, sure. Yeah, no. All right, coming up, Michael Charbon. Some good news for Michael Charbon. It sounds like the Canada-U.S. trade wars could be over. Don't go anywhere.
The Rob Carson Show is presented by Paramount Plus.
This isn't the end of a fight. It's the start of one. Lioness, the critically acclaimed original series from Taylor Sheridan, returns August 2nd only on Paramount Plus. It's the new season. Hidden networks, foreign operatives, and personal betrayals collide while Joe walks the line between duty and family. Don't miss Lioness, starring Zoe Saldana, Michael Kelly, with Morgan Freeman and Nicole Kidman. Now streaming on Paramount Plus. guys, it's Carson. You know, when it comes to supplements, two things matter most. A, that it works, and B, that you can trust it. We hear from people every single day whose lives have changed, including mine, and we'd like you to hear a few of their stories. Chris has spent years of doing physical work, leaving his feet sore at the end of the day. After starting Relief Factor, he felt so good, he did something he'd never done before. He ran a half marathon. Now he tells all his friends about Relief Factor. I can still move furniture, I can still ride my mountain bike, I can still lift heavy weights, and Relief Factor makes all of those tasks pain-free for me. 3 weeks for just $17.76. Simply go to ReliefFactor.com or call 800-4RELIEF. We hope you'll soon be sharing your story with us too. Again, ReliefFactor.com or 800-4RELIEF.
Oh, beauty, go.
Take off to the great white north. Take off. It's a beauty way to go. Take off to the great white north.
All right, I'm gonna introduce Michael Charbon in one first. A word from the President of the United States.
Conversation with the Prime Minister last night, and we've come to a deal with Canada. As you know, the 50% tariffs across the board were going on against Canada today, and they called yesterday and they gave us the points that we had to have. Very fair deal for both. The tariffs will be non-existent for our farmers. Our farmers were paying tremendous tariffs into Canada, and those tariffs are going to be totally eviscerated, down to zero.
Is the U.S. going to lower tariffs on Canadian autos?
We're doing certain things. We're got to give something, and we're doing certain things. They were paying a high number. We're reducing it a little bit. It's good for everybody, but our farmers are going to be thrilled. Our manufacturers are going to be thrilled, and basically, we have no tariffs going into Canada anymore. Canada was
well, Michael Charbon, that's got to be music to your ears.
Bring it.
Michael is not hearing me. All right. Well, let's try this. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. This is not, I do not believe this is on my end, but it is not unexpected, actually, because a lot of times we have technical difficulties. Ken, he is not hearing me. Everything here is on. Everything here is A-OK and Roger Dodger. Go ahead. Michael, give me a test. Michael cannot hear me. Well, this is kind of uncomfortable. Maybe we could have figured it out before the show. I'm just saying that, you know what I might do while we're trying to figure out the technical difficulties. I'm going to play a piece of satire, and I think you might enjoy it. So here we go. This is Donald Trump singing about tariffs, actually.
I raised the tariffs on Canada and Mexico.
Get Michael on the phone.
I raised the tariffs.
Please.
And it's gonna bring in lots of dough. They got a free ride for way too long. We must show them that we're strong. They won't stop the flow of fentanyl. So their goods, I'll tax them all. Canada should heed my call. Free trade, it is still a two-way street. I raised the tariffs, and I slapped one on the Chinese too. I raised the tariffs. Mexico is gonna pay what's due. No more free ride, Trudeau. I raised the tariffs. It is now at 25%.
All right, there you go. That is Donald Trump doing a little song we did a couple years ago about tariffs. Is Michael on? Is he hearing what I'm saying? We have him?
I can hear you. I've got my cell phone here. We're just a fantastic technical. I heard everything on the inside, but here we are connecting again via cell phone, but we still got video. And you know what, Rob? It's a pleasure to be with you and your syndicated radio network.
Even though we have, I guess, people who haven't gone to DeVry trying to figure things out here. I don't even know. It's just amazing to me.
And the number 10 podcast in America.
Utterly ridiculous. Honestly, utterly ridiculous. Yes, this is a minor chewing out of the staff. Anyway, Michael, welcome to the show. So we appear to have détente between President Trump and Canada with regard to tariffs.
Yes, we do. It's interesting, the facts, though. 80 to 90% of all of Canada's crude oil goes to you guys in the States. And Canada represents about 60% of the total crude imports that you have. And basically what's happening now is that the Keystone XL pipeline may really be reignited.
Yes.
And that means, well, that's really cool because the portion of the Canadian build is already done. So if we do the big connection, it's going to be a huge amount of oil that's going to be going to you guys. It's going to be somewhere around 830,000 barrels. But one thing Canadians are worried about,
what's that?
And I hope you can clarify this for me, is that in 2028, if there is a Democrat government that comes in, which I hope it isn't, Canada will have Groundhog Day, because if you recall, when Joe Biden got in, he cut the XL pipeline and cost Canada about $15 billion. So there's some hesitancy. But
built our portion is just coming through to you.
All right. Now we have, on top of everything else, we have feedback needs. Michael, talk to me.
Hello.
Wow. This is a late-term bit abortion. So, can you still hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Let's just keep it this way to not make it even worse than it already is. All right. So, the Keystone XL pipeline, of course, we can't depend on Democrats because they're morons. They tried that green new energy deal nonsense. We ordered Joe Biden, of course, got rid of the Keystone XL, got rid of offshore drilling, all of that, caused the price of fuel to go dramatically high and all of that. And so if a Democrat, and I'm believing if a Democrat is elected in 2028, I do not believe will happen. But you can guarantee they'll do something stupid like that. Go ahead.
Yeah, but what we're going to do is, I think one of the consolation prizes of all of this is that American booze is going back on Canadian shelves.
Oh, really?
You can buy bourbon. Yeah, that's what we're doing. And that all the wine from you guys, California and all the rest, is going back on the shelf.
Oh,
so,
nice.
I mean, you got to do something.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, if this tariff had gone through with the 50%, it could have cost 100,000 jobs in Canada, about 200,000 in the U.S. And with the midterms coming in at this point, that would not be a good thing.
I think what we might have seen here, Michael, it may be a stretch, but I think we may have seen the art of the deal at work here. Didn't Donald Trump? Didn't he write a book about that or something?
Well, you see, the distasteful thing to Canadians is that he keeps jabbing, and what he did was he said, I'm going to do 50% tariffs, and all of a sudden we have a reprieve. What did that do? That brought them all together, and we're going to have a solution.
The art of the deal! That's what he does!
We did, and we will have a deal. And you know what? As you and I have discussed on many occasions, if Canada and the United States have a good deal, we would be the strongest power, North American power. That it would be incredible. Automotive, energy, minerals, food, etc. I mean, so it only makes sense.
I knew it was going to happen, and I'm glad. Because this has been something in your craw for a little while there, Michael. So you ought to be happy about this. What about they mentioned cars, and I know cars are a big deal. There are a lot of American car parts and whatnot in Canada. So do you suppose that's going to, in fact, that will start being able to bring car parts and whatnot back to America?
Well, thank goodness Canada paid $6.4 billion for the Gordie Howe Bridge, because that's bringing it back and forth.
Love it.
So we're definitely integrated. If you realize, that goes all the way back to 1979 when we had the auto pact.
Yeah.
So we're integrated, and we need to be able to share and go back and forth.
Do you suppose this is going to impact the Canadian economy and the Canadian markets in a very positive fashion, hopefully very soon?
Our dollar sucks.
I know it does.
Let's just understand. Our dollar sucks. We're 30% lower than you are.
I know.
And there's tons of Canadians who are selling their condos in Florida.
Yep.
And California has been experiencing some downsizing from their tourism, because Canadians were some of the largest tourists. So let us hope, if this comes back and we start to sing Kumbaya again, that will regenerate both economies on both sides of the border.
All right, let's take a break and come back. We've got more with Michael Charbon on the Rob Carson Show. Don't go anywhere.
No mood for all this.
walking in with a cigar and a poncho. There you go, right back here with Michael Charbon from the Charbon Report from Canada. So we got some major tariffs going bye-bye between the U.S. and maybe Canadian or American booze back on the shelves in Canada and whatnot. That's all the good news. What else you got there? Michael?
Rob, I got to ask you. I know you're a single man now, but have you ever been bitten by a beaver?
I think you're not going to have to get back on the phone.
I am back on the phone.
Well, we got feedback now. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
How's that, brother?
That's better. Thank you very much. So, have I ever been bitten by a beaver? Well, I guess technically, yeah. Yeah, a lot.
Oh, this happened in a park in Maryland. This poor guy was swimming, and a beaver came and it bit him. A swimming Canadian beaver bit him on his chest, and they had to airlift him to Johns Hopkins Hospital. And a fact that I didn't know, you ready for this? 99% of rabies were largely eliminated by the 70s, but due to bats, foxes, raccoons, skunks, and Democrats named Nancy, these are the only ones that are still transmitting rabies.
Oh, man. Oh, that is unbelievable. Have you been to a Buc-ee's, by the way?
A Buc-ee's? No, not yet, but I've seen a bunch of British guys go to Buc-ee's and a couple of guys from Germany, and it was like they had gone to heaven and come back.
Michael, if you come down here, and Buc-ee is a beaver, of course, but it is a glorious place. If I lived within 100 miles of one, I swear to God, I would drive there for dinner. I'm not kidding. It's that glorious. It's that awesome. You come down here, Michael, I'll feed you all the beaver you can eat.
So I had one more. One more weird thing.
What?
How is your spidey sense?
My spidey sense actually is pretty good. My intuition's pretty good.
So in Cartagena, Colombia, they're already into the pumpkin spice and all that stuff that we cascade into in the fall, where everything is painted. Or I haven't done my orange tie yet.
Yes.
So here they are in Cartagena, Colombia.
Yes.
They're watching the new Spider-Man movie, A Brand New Day, and a man has a flatulence problem, and he clears the whole movie.
So it smelled like pumpkin, is what you're saying.
Oh, rotten pumpkin.
Wow.
So much so that the people had to leave the whole theater. And I started thinking about that. I thought, either the guy lit a smoke bomb or he ate a rancid pumpkin and it came back to bite him in the, where. I couldn't believe that. I mean, they had the guy sitting there in the Spidey uniform going like this and all these people. It was hilarious.
You know what? When you clear out a room, that's pretty bad stuff. That's pretty bad stuff. And when you know what? I usually never like when you go on the elevator. Sometimes somebody will do it, and of course you never want. But generally, that's just somebody put on way too much perfume, and she literally leaves it there for the next 10 passengers who get on that. Which is, my God, how much perfume you need. But it's kind of interesting. I got these car air fresheners. They're called Drift, and they're made of wood, oddly enough, and they've got different scents. And so I've ordered a bunch of these for the seasons for Buck, my Bronco. And right now I'm doing the summer scent. It's called John Wick. It's called John Wick. And then I've got pumpkin spice in the fall. And then I'm doing the pine and cranberries and all that for the winter. I know I'm overthinking this way too much, but why not? I'm single and I got a cool car.
Wow. Okay.
And it'll help cover up any flatulence in the car.
Yeah, well, it never smells the same when you do it yourself. So I just wanted to say, do you know that there's a problem now with Katy Perry's boyfriend?
Oh, really? What?
The RCMP, the Royal Canadian Mounted Police, generally have a detail of about 5 security guards.
Yeah.
And they're having problems because I think he's 54 and she's 41. He's traveling all over the world, so they've had to go to Paris, Japan, all these different places, and it's costing way too much money because as a former Prime Minister of Canada, he is respective of being able to receive the security detail.
Wow.
And the security detail that Katy Perry has doesn't mesh with his.
Wow. Honestly, why is he traveling? He's so absolutely no longer relevant. One other thing, by the way, speaking of stinky things in an elevator, Rosie O'Donnell, I didn't realize she was filling in for Kimmel this week. You watched it. You said it's terrible.
Oh, yeah, it was. It's probably working as a birth control method for many Americans because I'm telling you, it's terrible. And it's like these accolades that everybody's applauding and the guest, it just doesn't work. I mean, I got to give her credit, though. She got the facelift, so everything's nice and tight, and she's got the. I
don't think everything's nice and tight. Yeah.
No, there's a little looseness happening, but it's just one of those things. It's just one of those things that you kind of watch and you get, it's kind of like when the dentist goes in there. It's an instant gag effect.
Yeah. Well, listen, she hasn't been funny in a while. And once you lose your sense of humor, which she's a dour and unhappy individual, I don't think it's coming back. Michael Charbon, we have to go. Tell everybody where they can find your glorious presence online.
Thank you. MichaelACharbon.com. You can find me on Spotify, on TikTok, Facebook, and on Michael A. Charbon on X, and always on the Rob Carson Show at 12.
All right, brother. Take care of yourself. We'll talk again next week. This is the Rob Carson Show.
Newsmax, you like Newsmax. I like it too.
Hi, guys.
Newsmax, you like Newsmax.
How are you? Hope you're having a good day. Couple extra prayers today, if you wouldn't mind. I've got a PET scan result today, so hopefully everything's right there and we're golden. So anyway, but thanks for the good night's sleep and thanks for the well wishes. Thank you so much. I cannot thank you enough. Let's see who's watching over here on the YouTubeage. S-Man5877. Trump may have tariff. You don't spell tariff. Tarrafed. But I understand what you're trying to say. Yeah, the phone must have been tariff. Something happened. Get Smart TV show written by Mel Brooks. Yeah, it's true. It was. Reagan used tariffs. We're just making the playing field even, by the way. That's all that is. Hello, George Wayne. How are you today? Hello, Blockbuster 2K. How y'all doing? Eggs McMuffin is. Hey, ho, ho. President Bone Spurs has got to go. I don't even know what that means. So I'm just going to go ahead and block you. All righty. Let's see. Hobalone, what's going on? Let's go over here to Facebook, see what's happening on Facebook. Facebook-aloo. All right, here we are. Here's my Facebook friends. Hello, Rob. Australia checking in. Hi, Greg. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it. I got to talk, guys. Here's fellow Gen Xer Adam Carolla. He's he's a sage, he's a comedian, and he's kind of encapsulating this nonsense of the DSA. The DSA, they're children who just discover something, and they're presenting something to their parents that their parents already know failed, and they're acting like it's something new, and the parent says we've already tried that, so the children throw a temper tantrum. And here is Adam Carolla talking about socialism and communism being repackaged by a bunch of idiots who don't know it fails.
It is weird and sad that we have to revisit a bunch of ideas that have never worked. And essentially, here's what I'm saying. There was an airplane that was in England. It was a passenger airplane. I don't know, it was a Comet or whatever, one of the earlier jets. The windows were square-shaped.
Square.
Not round.
Yeah.
And you look at a airplane, you go, yeah, all the windows are round. How come none of them are square? Square is actually bigger. You get more viewing space, but the corners got fatigued. The airframe of the corner made a weak point with metal fatigue.
Like
guess what? No more fucking square windows on airplanes.
No.
10 of those planes crashed. We learned. We moved on.
Yep.
We learned a lesson from then.
Yes.
But we can't do it with defund the police or socialism or anything.
Yeah.
We can't do it. We just got to go, let's try communism a 57th time. It doesn't work.
No.
It doesn't work, but we learned. And now we have super efficient, safe airplanes.
Yes,
Could you imagine if we just treated the society like commercial aviation? I mean, they had prop planes. They had canvas stretched over wooden bodies. Now you're laying in beautiful reclining first class. You're going 600 miles an hour. You got Wi-Fi. We just keep going. We just keep going, and we weed out the bad ideas. And now you go, wow, this is great. But then you go look at a city, and you go, what was L.A.? When that airplane in 1950 was rolling off the thing, that D.C., whatever, in L.A. was clean. L.A. was nice. L.A. was safe. Now L.A. is a garbage pail full of shit because your horrible ideas that got implemented and you wouldn't fucking let them go. You just had a new, fresh crop of engineers show up every year and go, I got an idea about some square windows. And it's like, that doesn't work. Oh, yeah? You're a racist. I'm putting my square windows in. Imagine we just treat society that way. We just keep evolving instead of...
It's the exact same thing, and it's a great analogy because, for instance, if the government would have been in charge of phones in the 1970s, we would still have a home phone with a cord and one company to come and fix it. I was there. I was alive. Capitalism has put the Library of Alexandria in your pocket and given you communication across the world for pennies on the dollar. More on Democrats destroying their cities intentionally. That's coming up. Don't go anywhere.
The Rob Carson Show is presented by Paramount Plus. Carson Show is presented by Paramount Plus.
You don't need to live with aches and pains. Visit relieffactor.com today.
Hold it now. You are about to hear the most interesting, informative, thought-provoking, and funny show in America. On air and on the World Wide Web. This is the Rob Carson Show.
This is the Rob Carson Show, hour number 2 on a Thursday edition of the show. Bottom of the hour, Fred Flight's going to be talking to us. We've got all sorts of stuff here. We got Trump announces most crushing economic operation ever against Iran. I've been hearing Victor Davis Hanson. He thinks that's working. He thinks it's working pretty darn well. I haven't mentioned a lot about this. Hayden Panettiere. You ever see her? Hayden Panettiere. Very talented young actress, and it looks like so many have ended up ruined by Hollywood. The people who like to preach us at awards shows and stuff. DEA is joining an investigation into the death of this woman. And they were talking about OD on the 911 call. Wouldn't be surprised she's addicted to a host of things. She was in Heroes. I remember that's when I saw her debut, and I was like, wow, she's really great. Nashville, really big deal. Also a budding country music singer. Has an on-again, off-again boyfriend named Brian Hickerson. He's a creep. I saw an interview with him last night, and he said, I told Hayden, and I said, you got 10 seconds to run as far as you can. And I was holding the phone, and I said, you got 10 seconds, but I'm going to be able to hit you. I mean, he's a creep supreme, and the parents wanted him gone, so maybe he's a part of it. I don't know. This is kind of interesting. Eric Swallowswell. You notice that the Democrat Party ghosted him, that he's nowhere to be found. He was going to be the governor of California, for God's sake. He was the up-and-comer with he looked like that, remember when you were a kid and they had the guy that you made a beard with a magnet, you know? It was his face, and you'd use these little metal shavings, and you'd do, I don't remember the name of that guy, but he looks like that, or somebody who just ate a hair ice cream cone, and it's dripping down his chin. That's what he looks like. The worst beard, almost as bad as Abdul al-Sayed. FBI announces Eric Swalwell, surprises Eric Swalwell at California airport. Oh my goodness, this is not good. Seizes electronics in a sexual misconduct probe. Former Congressman Eric Swalwell, the disgraced California congressman accused of rape, was confronted by FBI agents at San Francisco International Airport, where they seized his electronics, part of a federal probe. Agents served Swalwell with a warrant Saturday after he arrived in California, seized his cell phone and other devices. That had to be a loss of bowel control moment there. I mean, that's got to be woof. Agents also executed additional warrants at Swalwell's Washington, D.C. home Sunday, where they seized other potential evidence. The investigation comes as the former California congressman faces multiple allegations of sexual misconduct. I wonder if his buddy in Congress will do the same thing, including claims from a former staffer that he allegedly raped her twice when she was too intoxicated to consent. I have a funny feeling that happens a little more often in Washington, D.C. than we would like to admit. I hear there's all sorts of BS going on here with politicians and using control over women, and they're still doing the same crap that we left with the sexual harassment nonsense of the 80s with regard to Clarence Thomas' nomination for Supreme Court. That's why we have to do these stupid videos. We have to do these sexual harassment training videos because apparently some guys don't know you're not supposed to grab a woman by the rear end when she's walking by you or talk about how much you want to have sex with her. Or maybe we all do, and it was all just a few stupids who made us go through this nonsense. I had to do the sexual harassment training video for Newsmax. It's required by law. Not by Newsmax. It's required by law. At the time, I worked in an extra bedroom by myself. So unless I'm playing a little grandmaster with myself, I'm there aren't going to be any complaints. But if I were going to harass somebody, I would harass me because I am pretty fine looking. Agents, served the additional warrants to the D.C. House and all of that. And one woman is accused of him drugging her before sexually assaulting her, just like Bill Cosby. Eat your Jell-O pudding. But it's bitter. No, just eat your Jell-O pudding. It's delicious. 2 other women allegedly had sent him, he'd sent them unsolicited images of his genitals. No woman wants a picture of your genitals. Even if it has googly eyes on it and you're making a puppet out of it. Nothing like that. No woman wants to see that. They're not crazy about it when they see it when you're, being intimate and all that, but certainly not is a picture. It's not a good idea. Here's Jim Gossett about Eric Swallowswell on the Rob Carson Show.
2 girls that Swalwell groped before. They say there's 50, maybe more. It's a sordid tale. Eric should be in jail.
Tail, yeah.
For all the girls he groped before.
And stooped before.
It finally forced his resignation. He left the Congress in disgrace. And now we have an explanation.
Explanation, yeah.
Why female staffers carried mace. To all the girls that he attacked. And to the women who fought back. Swalwell needs to pay. Arrest Eric today. For all the girls that he attacked.
He's in a lot of trouble. He's done a lot of trouble.
To all the years that he should serve. A prison stay he does deserve.
By the way, he was seen at the airport not wearing a wedding ring. Not uncommon for him to do, actually. I still have mine, by the way. Deciding what I want to do with it. I'm going to make it into a little crucifix or something. I haven't decided yet. So the DSA got, you think that this Angie Nixon winning in Florida was a big victory for the DSA. Not at all, not 100%. They're winning about 50% of the time. And if you're looking at Abdul Al-Sayed against Mike Rogers in Michigan, he's not going to be the guy. He's going to get beaten up there. Then you got this Angie Nixon down there in Florida. Had a terrible candidate, Alexander Vindman down there, and she managed to get by, but she's going to get keel-hauled down here because, people don't ascribe to socialism and communism. And let's face it, they've been doing this crap forever. And Bernie Sanders, every 10 years or so, thinks he has some momentum on his old Model A Ford that the wheels are falling off, and he thinks he's really got some momentum, and he's finally going. And it's not going to work. Bernie, you're a failure. Just resign. But here is Bernie and AOC talking about this iteration of socialism.
First, we're going to explain what democratic socialism is. And what democratic socialism is about.
It's socialism.
Is saying that it is immoral and wrong that the top 1/10% in this country own almost 90%, own almost as much wealth as the bottom.
They also employ a whole lot of us.
90%.
The emphasis in democratic socialism is on democracy. And
no, it's not. Not one little bit. That's the exact opposite.
It's not about, it's just as much a transformation about bringing democracy to the workplace so that we have a say and that we don't check all of our rights at the door every time we cross the threshold into our workplace.
That is not true at all. What are you talking about? If you have a workplace, you abide by the rules of the workplace, you do the job, and you're grateful you have the job. That's how it works. Just because you have to work for a living, buck up, okay? We can't all have government jobs. Thank you very much. The DSA co-chair, Sheikh Sadiq, I guess is the guy. He looks like maybe he'd be too small to be a horse jockey. Anyway, he got called out by a guy on CNN. I think this guy on CNN, his last name, if I'm not mistaken, is Castro. and he has relatives who escaped communism. Now, this is CNN. All right? And I want you to listen to this little toadstool, this little Ashik Sadiq, who doesn't probably have a job, has never had a job, has never come up with an idea, has never brought a thing to market, has never hired anybody. Okay? Maybe a babysitter. No, his parents probably just like last weekend hired him a babysitter. There you go. But here he is being ripped for his statement saying that praising Fidel Castro, who, by the way, put a whole lot of people in jail and impoverished a nation for 70 years.
I get your criticism of foreign policy. As I said, it's not an uncommon one. But lauding Fidel Castro is a different story.
Yeah.
You talk about what things were like before.
Or Chairman Mao, Hassan Piker. Have you heard anything from Hassan Piker this week?
For the revolution in Cuba, I'll give you a personal example. My grandfather was a revolutionary in Cuba during that time. He was affected by a previous dictator, Fulgencio Batista, having his friends disappeared in the street for speaking their minds.
Yeah, they
My
did.
grandfather found that revolution hoping to bring democracy to Cuba.
ICE does that! No, they don't.
And then what happened? Fidel Castro locked my grandfather up, sentenced to 20 years for doing what you're doing now on live TV, for speaking his mind.
I know.
For expressing himself freely, for trying to organize politically. So I wonder, again, how you think that lands with people who...
Listen to this little toddler's non-answer.
...suffered under that dictatorship, who now you are trying to court as voters when your organization comes out and lauds 100 years of Castro. I don't think it would land well with them, Ashik.
Not well.
We're seeing many people in the United States who are seeing who are struggling under massive inequality in the United States.
You know what? How about this? Buck up, learn a trade, bust your ass, invent something, bring it to market, do it like the rest of us have done. How about that? Here's the other this other DSA co-chair saying Cuba is awesome. Now, she would not be this heavy in Cuba.
Do you believe that Cuba is a dictatorship, Megan?
I believe that Cubans have access to their democracy in a way that...
No, there are 90 political prisons on that little island.
We do not. For example, I think the Families Code was just sort of an incredible demonstration of...
Go live there.
...popular democracy. And also, no, they don't have multi-party elections, which is a real problem.
Oh, you think?
I also think we don't have access to our Constitution in ways that are really...
No, you're absolutely high.
...problematic. We're on like
what?
50 years of the ERA not being passed? 50 years.
There are rules against discrimination for sex and whatnot.
Since the 70s. We are having a very hard time making these changes. Democracy is a lot of things. It's a lot of things about the way people interact with their country, and I think both countries are complex. But I know that
one is a dictatorship that imprisons people and starves them. And that would be Cuba, you moron. Go down there. I want to see her go live there for about a year. She would lose half her body weight and get down to about $1.75. Let's take a break and come back. This is the Rob Carson Show.
Are you...
If I don't like it, if they don't behave, we'll go right back to dropping bombs right smack in the middle of their head.
Hey guys, good morning. Overnight, President Trump announced what he is calling economic D-Day against Iran. The president indicated that any country around the world providing a lifeline to the Iranians could face economic consequences of their own. He called on allies to stand with the United States, posting to Truth Social, "No one has given the Islamic Republic of Iran a greater opportunity to make a deal than me. Tragically for them, they have failed to take it. Therefore, today I am announcing the most crushing economic operation ever taken against any country."
Wow, that is kind of big news. Joining us to talk about this and much more, Fred Fleitz, former MNSA Chief of Staff of the Trump administration and Senior Fellow at the America First.
Right now, bottom of the hour.
Oh, you're right. That is at the bottom of the hour. Well, son of a gun, I apologize. We're going to do that at the bottom of the hour. Pardon me, I'm a little cloudy from some medication that I'm taking. It's legal. It's legal. Let's talk about other stuff. How about that? Let's talk about Lindsey Graham's sister last night. Not only know this, but Greta Van Susteren hosted a debate, a candidates debate in South Carolina featuring Darlene Graham. And Darlene Graham kind of did a stumble right out of the gate. And here is what she said. I talked to Greta Van Susteren last night about it yesterday. And she, I don't know, I almost felt a sense of regret that she asked the question. But you listen. These are the questions you ask. Here it is.
Senator, are Taiwan and the South China Sea national security issues for the United States? If so, why?
I'm sorry. Could you repeat the question?
Are Taiwan and the South China Sea national security issues for the United States, and if so, why or how?
I'm just going to be honest here. I'm not on national security. I'm not that informed on national security, so. But I do support the.
She's also been a candidate for Senate for 2 weeks since her brother died. Meanwhile, AOC has been a congresswoman for years.
Would and should the U.S. actually commit U.S. troops to defend Taiwan if China were to move?
I think that this is such a, I think that this is of course a.
Yeah, okay. Now, I'm going to show you the difference between stupid and smart and common sense, because last night Darlene Graham was on with Hannity. AOC never came back to explain why she was so stupid, because she's too dumb to understand why she behaved in such a fashion. But Darlene Graham was on there last night, and I want you to listen to this, and you tell me this doesn't talk to people in North Carolina or any state. We are a country where citizens run for government. She is a citizen. Her brother was a great senator, by the way, and a great member of the military as well. But I want you to listen to this.
I tripped up on one question last night regarding Taiwan. But, I've said many times, I'm not a politician, certainly not a career politician. Yeah. I don't speak politician. I was just honest, and I think that's kind of a foreign concept. But I talked to several people today. I traveled around the state, and they said, we appreciated the fact that you were honest. And I did say several times.
This doesn't disqualify her from being the senator. She just is not. Listen, I'm not conversant in everything. She had a hell of a lot of crunching to do, in the 2 weeks since her brother died.
That,
and by the way, a couple weeks of that, she was running for office.
China is our enemy, our military and economic threat to the United States. Of course, Taiwan is our friend, but I think people in South Carolina are more worried about making ends meet. They're concerned about boys and girls sports. One lady talked to me extensively about that today. They're concerned about the Second Amendment. They're concerned about the Save America Act, illegal immigration. So they're concerned about a lot of other things other than Taiwan.
And I would venture to say that she knows everything and sides with everything on those issues in a fashion that we agree with, and in a fashion that someone who loves the country wants to preserve the State of the Union, the policies that she would follow. You could trust, unlike Democrat socialists, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez.
I know national security is important. We have a wonderful commander-in-chief. I know that we need to stand with the Israel, and the issues in Iran are serious.
That's true.
I understand all that. But again, I'm focused on the issues for everyday people in South Carolina that are struggling to make ends meet. So that's where I really want to focus. Another concern from the debate I have last night is my opponent.
Does she sound at all as dumb as AOC when every time she opens her mouth? No, not at all.
Said he was going to cut Social Security. That's very concerning to me.
Yeah.
He also talked about creating a pathway for illegal immigrants. So that's another concern I have.
Yeah. Actually, I'm going to give her a whole lot of credit for at least coming back and saying, hey, you know what? I did a faceplant. Didn't know anything about that. But, here are the other things that I'm concerned about. Here's John Kennedy on AOC.
Well, it's not all crickets. Congresswoman Ocasio-Cortez went to Munich this week and made some comments about foreign policy. Look, I don't hate anybody, and I certainly don't hate the Congresswoman. But how can I put this? The Congresswoman is kind of like Vice President Kamala Harris, but with more bartending experience. She has never been accused of being a policymaker.
No, not at all.
You put her in a presidential primary with Elizabeth Warren or Rahm Emanuel, they will devour her like a light snack.
There you go. That is John Kennedy. And it's true. Darlene Graham is an intelligent woman who was asked a question on something she hasn't learned, brushed up on. But her response, I thought, was fantastic. And by the way, she's only lost a couple points in the polls. There you go. Let's take a break and come back. We will have Fred Flights for Real next.
The Rob Carson Show is presented by Paramount Plus.
This isn't the end of a fight. It's the start of one. Lioness, the critically acclaimed original series from Taylor Sheridan, returns August 2nd only on Paramount Plus. It's the new season. Hidden networks, foreign operatives, and personal betrayals collide while Joe walks the line between duty and family. Don't miss Lioness, starring Zoe Saldana, Michael Kelly, with Morgan Freeman and Nicole Kidman. Now streaming on Paramount Plus. Doug took Relief Factor for nearly a year before convincing his wife, a special needs teacher, to try it. She had been using assistance just to move through the long hallway at school. Now she's back on her feet every day. Never had to leave the job she loves. I can attest to this. I ride my mountain bike every weekend from 30 to 50 miles. I lift weights, and I'm lifting heavier than I did when I was 30 without pain. People like Doug make it easy to find out if you'll be the next person telling us Relief Factor gave you what you love. 3 weeks for just $17.76. Simply go to relieffactor.com or call 800-4RELIEF. We hope you'll be sharing your story with us too. relieffactor.com or 1-800-4RELIEF.
.9 FM in Harford County.
Hey guys, good morning. Overnight, President Trump announced what he is calling economic D-Day against Iran. The president indicated that any country around the world providing a lifeline to the Iranians could face consequences of their own. He called on allies to stand with the United States, posting to Truth Social, "No one has given the Islamic Republic of Iran a greater opportunity to make a deal than me. Tragically for them, they have failed to take it. Therefore, today I am announcing the most crushing economic operation ever taken against any country."
Okay, so that's kind of big news. And also some big news would be the fact that on camera with me today for the very first time, we have the great Fred Fleitz, ladies and gentlemen. How are you on this glorious Thursday, sir?
Good to be here, Rob. Good to see you in person.
It is really good to see you in person. Obviously, senior fellow America First Policy Institute. I've been watching a lot of Stephen Turley, big fan. VDH, Victor Davis Hanson, big fan about progress in Iran and using Scott Bessent kind of as a financial warrior or general with regard to this conflict. Where do you suppose we are, and what do you suppose this is going to entail?
Well, there's been some very interesting developments recently. CNN said that it looks like Iran is losing control of the Strait of Hormuz.
Yes,
and there's a writer named Noah Rothman. He works for National View, and he hates Trump.
Yeah.
And he wrote an article yesterday that said, on the present course, Iran is headed towards insolvency, disorder, and internal conflict. And for the first time in months, something like victory for the United States is suddenly within sight. I'm not prepared to go there just yet. I hope that's true. But look, the massive protests we saw in January, where 40,000 at least were killed by the Iranian government, that's because the economy was in trouble last December. Now we had the war, and now we're going to have an economic blockade that's going to stave off huge amounts of revenue, $300 to $500 million a day. This is unsustainable. No matter what these Iranian officials tell CNN that they're going to restart the war or target Europe, their government is in enormous trouble, and Trump is going to slowly strangle them.
Well, I saw the inflation was like 79%. It has to have gotten much worse than that. The currency of Iran is now absolutely worthless during the dollar. It's like Confederate money. You remember that, where you got hundreds of thousands of. What is the Iranian currency? I keep forgetting. It's not the dinar, but a million of them to a dollar. And so you talk about us not having any purchasing power and the worthlessness of our dollar thanks to government spending. People have got to be really, really hurting. And then most importantly, the people in power aren't getting paid and they got to feed themselves. And I hear the water plants are breaking down. I hear the reservoirs are emptying. So they don't have water either.
They had water problems late last year. And now we have the prospect of the Army not being paid, the security services not being paid. And we also hear reports that the crackdown on the population, including executions, are increasing. That's a sign of desperation. That's a sign of enormous pent-up domestic unrest. And I think as the economic pain grows, this will become unsustainable.
Oh, and also, if I'm not mistaken, we have the Kurds, we have other groups that are being supported by the United States, if not physically, but certainly, in spirit. And it sounds like they are more motivated than ever, seeing the Ayatollah and the IRGC beginning to show signs of weakness. So do you suppose that there will be disparate groups possibly working together to take over? And we also bring up the possibility of the Shah's son returning. What do you suppose the possibility of any of that are right now?
Iran is a nation made up of many ethnic groups. There's the Iranian Serbs. There are other groups throughout the country. Many of them have been oppressed for a long time by the government in Tehran, and I think they're ready and eager to rise up against this government. I think that the Shah's son would be an excellent choice to run the country. I don't know what his support is within the country or how the transition would move for him. Some people are saying right now we should be supporting the young Shah or the Shah-to-be as an interim government to democracy. I'm for that. I've seen him speak. I'm very impressed by him. But I had to say I'm not sure how we get there from here.
Well, it's obviously very complicated. If any of us had the answers, we'd be able to figure this out in a hurry. But there is a great deal of interest from the other Arab states in investing real money, trillions of dollars, into making Iran into an economic powerhouse. And there's no reason that shouldn't be the case. And I have a funny feeling when you got places like Qatar investing trillions in the American economy, et cetera, that they would like to see some return on their money, and I think that's an incredibly powerful force against those who would keep Iran impoverished as a terrorist state.
And with the prospect of that, there are elements within the Iranian regime, within the Iranian government, who may try to make a deal. Maybe some general, maybe some of the Revolutionary Guard who's just decided, I'm tired of having my men starved and shot. I'm going to make a deal with the Qataris to overthrow these people. I don't know. That's how revolutions start. We don't know how or when or who, but we're creating the situation where this could happen.
Scott Bessent has been very, very effective as the Treasury Secretary. I can't recall, and you've been much more, you do this for a living, you do foreign policy for a living, but I can't recall a Treasury Secretary using the tools of the Treasury and the dollar and the banking system in such a fashion. Surely we have used banking systems against countries to bankrupt regimes.
We have done it before. There's been extensive sanctions on Iran before, but the blockade is new. We're adding all these tools to basically an effort to shut off $300 to $500 million a day in revenue, which the government is not going to be able to withstand.
I'm just seeing this from on my timeline. Donald Trump talking about confirming a massive pipeline construction to circumvent the Strait of Hormuz. I'm going to play that.
And it's today 84, 85. Alaska, Louisiana, and other places. In addition, a lot of pipelines, record numbers of pipelines are being built. So I think the Hormuz Strait's not going to be quite as important as it was.
That is really, isn't that incredible? Because I'm old enough to remember the OPEC, the Straits, having us over a barrel for decades. And look at how dramatically this has shifted. Not only do you have this, but you also have Donald Trump talking about reestablishing the Keystone XL pipeline out of Canada. That's going to make worldwide commodity markets bring the oil price down, and it's going to make Iran more isolated unless they decide to get in the game.
That's right.
There's already a pretty substantial
across the Arabian Peninsula that the Saudis are using to send oil to the Red Sea. Another pipeline is being built so the UAE can bypass the Straits of Hormuz. And the Saudi pipelines are being made even greater. So I think the prospect of making this strait irrelevant in the future, I think Trump is right. That's coming.
Would that not be something else? Can you hang on through the break, Fred Flights?
Sure.
I would love to continue this conversation. I want to talk a little bit about Ukraine and whatever else you got on your mind. I appreciate your expertise and your appearance on the show. Let's take a break and come back. This is the Rob Carson Show.
CBM.
Not sticking together. I think that NATO made a terrible mistake when they wouldn't send a small amount of military armament, when they wouldn't send, just even acknowledge what we were doing for the world and taking on Iran. I never considered it very risky, but war is always risk. You know, a lot of strange things happen in war that are very bad, but I didn't consider it. I know how great we're the greatest military by far. Anywhere there was nobody close. I didn't think there was a big risk, but there's always surprises with war. They can be very bad surprises. I mean, wars are lost that should be won. Many wars are lost.
So I'm seeing this on Twitter, where Trump has refused, announced that the U.S. is leaving NATO because European nations refused to join him against Iran. Is this, what are you hearing about this, Fred Flights?
Can you hear me, sir?
I don't think Trump is I don't think Trump is going to be leaving NATO, and I think he has legitimate concerns that NATO states did not help with the war in Iran. But it was worse than that. They denied us access to bases that we helped pay for to conduct the war, and they undermined the war with their negative rhetoric and questioning everything Trump was doing. This really irritated Trump, and I think he has a right to be irritated.
Yeah, it's art of the deal, right? Don't you think it's kind of the art of the deal? He got NATO to play, giving more for their defense budgets, which had never been done before. He's been using tariffs very, very effectively around the world, and all of this, and I think it's been very effective. I honestly, I got to tell you, Fred, I think that we're seeing this. We've had seeds planted, and now they're beginning to generate. We're going to see great change happening and great things happening in regions around the world because of this for years and years and years. I understand the UAE, this is kind of a big deal yesterday, severed trade with Iran. You've got China essentially dropping 30 or 40% of their oil purchases from Iran. These are all big economic blows without dropping a bomb on a bridge or a power plant.
The UAE is a big deal, but let me tell you something else that may be a big deal. If Iran follows through on its threat to attack American bases in Europe, all bets are off. That will bring NATO into the war if they're actually attacked by Iran. I can't think of something more foolish, but this regime has made all kinds of foolish mistakes. So if they're going to try that, I don't think countries like the UK or France or Italy, I mean, under Article 5 of the NATO Charter, they then have to get engaged.
It would be foolhardy, because they will have zero impact. They don't have any weaponry that can do that in an effective fashion. It would surely, and in case you haven't noticed, they haven't landed a whole lot of strikes on American targets, and it's been about 6 months there, Fred. So, I mean, how impactful is this going to be? What would they have? What would they be capable of launching? And most assuredly, it would be deterred by American forces. But you know what? They're that freaking stupid that they would bring down the wrath of NATO and maybe give NATO a reason to get involved here, right?
I actually don't think that they would do that, and you're right. They have some missiles that could hit Europe. They don't have that many of them, and I think they'd all be shot down.
What's going on in Ukraine? I'm hearing stories about Ukraine being short on supplies and whatnot. Russia has not done very well throughout this entire conflict, considering they're the giant bear and Ukraine is the little cub. How soon do you see this resolving, and how will it be resolved?
Well, the war is getting bad. Ukraine has inadequate defenses to defend against Russian missiles. They can defend against the drones. Enormous number were sent against the country over the last few days. There was significant death in Ukraine. Ukraine is thinking of retaliating with AI-directed drone attacks against Russian airports, which, I mean, would really be devastating for the Russian economy. And I think Ukraine is turning out to be a much, much bigger problem this year than Russia ever thought it would be. And my hope is that Trump efforts to double down on diplomacy with Putin will finally get some momentum there.
What do you suppose is going to happen before the midterms with regard to Iran? Do you suppose? I know this is impossible. We effectively have had, 8 weeks of munitions being used, and the rest has been either memorandum of understanding or a ceasefire. And now we've got economic Armageddon. What do you suppose is going to happen before the midterms there?
I think the U.S. should be prepared for a naval blockade of at least 6 months. And the regime's going to complain about that. They're going to try to fight back. They're going to attack our ships and bases, bring in the Houthis. But ultimately, I don't think they can withstand that. We will eventually see this government falling, but we simply have to have the discipline to really stick to the strategy. In addition, we have to attract rail links that's linking Iran to Russia and China, so material can't get in that way.
Fred Fleitz, I really appreciate you, and I'm going to tell you it is a real honor to have you on screen with me. I've been watching you on Newsmax for many years. We are moved into the Newsmax studios here in Washington, D.C., and it's just a real pleasure to not only hear your voice, but also see you here on this program and this live stream. We appreciate you.
It's always great to do the show, Rob. Thanks.
And when you're in D.C., you're going to be sitting right across from me. How does that sound?
I am in D.C. I'm just a couple blocks from you.
Well, you could have come up and visit, okay? All right.
It's a deal.
All right, brother. All right. We'll talk soon, Fred. I appreciate you. Let's take a break and come back. This is the Rob Carson Show.
Are you tired of high cable TV rates? Sign up for Dish today and get a $500 bonus offer while supplies last. Plus, lock in your price for 2 years guaranteed. Call All American Dish, your Dish authorized retailer now.
800-296-1251. 1251. That's 800-296-1251. Offers require credit qualification, 24-month commitment, early termination fee, and auto pay. Restrictions apply. Call for details.
If Ernest Hemingway was alive today, would he say this to
Treatable
you?
with radiation.
Shakespeare, Mark Twain, Edgar Allan Poe, all great writers. And after reading your book, I simply must add you to the list.
Wait, you don't have a book yet. So make a free call to Page Publishing. Turn your book idea into publishing gold.
800-215-6818. 800-215-6818. That's 800-215.
I don't know if you heard it. My PET scan says there is no distant metastatic spread, which is good news. It has gotten out of the prostate, but this is very treatable with radiation and brachytherapy. So this is really... I'm sorry.
You're around 410 here, Rob.
This is not an EV, and it never will be. Before the second segment of Fred Flights, I got a note from my radiation oncologist, and it said, Mr. DeBolt, that's my real name. I just got a copy of the PET scan. There's no metastatic spread, no distant metastatic spread, which is good news. We can treat it with radiation, brachytherapy. These are very, very effective. Do you, first of all, I know many of you have suffered more. I was reading this morning about Tulsi Gabbard's husband, who has bone cancer that is debilitating and deadly. My prayers are with him. I know that many of you are suffering and have suffered. And the last week has been such a miracle. The last 2 weeks have been such a miracle. After nearly 4 months of absolute fear and stress, while having to move my studio, this has been one of the toughest times of my life. It was harder than divorce. It's been harder than divorce. Divorce is pretty bad. But to get this, I've waited for this. And it's good to know. It's good to know because now I have a battle plan. Now I have a battle plan and I'm going to kick its ass. Now I have a battle plan, and cancer, I am coming to kick your ass up between your shoulders. That's what I'm going to do. the thousands of notes and prayers I've gotten from you from as far away as Czechoslovakia have buoyed me more than I could ever imagine. I've never asked for prayers like that. And you know what? I didn't get a single troll. There was not a single troll. Nobody trolled me. Nobody was cruel about it, because there are a lot of cruel people out there. And I promised God the other day, I'm going to be the ultimate vessel for joy you've ever seen in your life. Because I was joyful until I got this diagnosis, and the last 4 months have been a mother bleeper. Living by myself, going to bed in darkness, talking to God, wondering what was going on, going to tests in hospitals by myself, the hardest thing in the world. And today I get a little good news. I know your prayers had something to do with it too, by the way, because they're as powerful as medicine sometimes, all the time. I just wanted to share that with you. I'm going to come back and be an entertainer next hour. How's that sound? Don't go anywhere, okay, guys?
The Rob Carson Show is presented by Paramount Plus. The Rob Carson Show is presented by Paramount Plus.
You don't need to live with aches and pains. Visit relieffactor.com today.
Oh, now. Hey, Rob, I have Mark in Baltimore's back.
All right.
About to hear the most interesting, informative, thought-provoking, and funny show in America. On air and on the World Wide Web. This is the Rob Carson Show.
This is the Rob Carson Show, hour number 3 on a Thursday. What a day it has been. What a day it has been. Anyway, for those of you just tuned in, I got some good news with regard to the cancer. It is not widespread. That's a really big deal. So now we have a battle plan, and I have a doctor. I have a doctor. I have friends, and I have fans, and now I've got a battle plan. And I want to tell you this, by the way. From day one, I wanted to be able to obviously survive this and then share it with people who are suffering and maybe offer them some hope. I know that there are people who've been a lot worse things than I have. I remember when Rush Limbaugh announced on his radio program that he had terminal cancer. I will never forget that. I worked with Rush Limbaugh for 20 years. Not directly. I worked with Kit and with Johnny Donovan. And every day I looked at that man, and I'm going to tell you, that was one of the bravest men you could possibly imagine facing his own end. And what did he choose to do? Did he choose to fulfill a bucket list and travel the world? He chose to serve his audience. In the middle of the 1990s, I had a friend of mine call me, and she said, "Man, what is wrong with Rush's voice? What is going on? He's screeching at the top of his lungs. Is there somebody else in there pretending to be Rush Limbaugh?" I said I didn't know. Then I found out that he went deaf. You as a radio host in the oral media, can you even imagine doing a show without being able to hear anything? You have to be able to hear your voice to be able to understand what your voice is doing. I know if I could not hear, I could not hear what my voice was doing. I have an idea by the way I'm shaping my mouth or the way my vocal cords are, the feel of it all. You could shape words, but pitch is way out there. So he went completely deaf, no sound at all, no heartbeat, no nothing. To some, it would be very maddening. He said, which was pretty amazing later in his life, that you have never experienced silence, glorious silence, like you do when you turn off your cochlear implant at night. And they put people in these silent chambers, okay, where you can still hear your heartbeat and your breathing, and that drives you insane. You can't stay in that room for 60 seconds. You go nuts. But when you turn off the cochlear implant, there's no sound. And Rush Limbaugh came back from deafness to become, and it's never celebrated, the greatest deaf radio host in the history of the world. And his audience got bigger. He didn't change his bumper music on his show because all new music became noise. He couldn't, when he did the live appearances in front of audiences, it was an irritant. The audience had to be quiet because it was so overwhelming to the cochlear that everything was just jumbled. Every time he got a phone call on the screen from the time that he went deaf until his last show, they transcribed the phone call so he could read what the caller was saying. And he never missed a beat. And he never bitched and whined. And he never said, "Woe is me, I'm deaf." Who could say that? who could say that. And then he's told by his doctor, you've got cancer and there's nothing we can do about it. At best, you've got a year. And he went in and he cracked that mic and he shared his story and he did his show. He was a remarkable human being. You may also know Rush Limbaugh. I'm trying. I lost my train of thought here for a second. Here are a couple things from Rush Limbaugh when he was very close to the end of his life. Absolutely, and this is this is literally days before he passed. Just the bravery of this man and the wisdom of this man. He was a gift.
We are not sunk yet. We will never surrender. We will never give up. Never, never, never. It's not who we are. It's not what we do. We never give up. We are not sunk yet.
Yep, we got that 100%. There's a little bit more about.
Our borders are secure. Our families are flourishing. Our values are renewed.
Trump loves this country in ways that many people in politics in the past don't, because their view of what America is a nation among many in the world. President Trump believes in America first. And can you imagine folks being hated and reviled for this? And yet he is. He's hated and reviled for loving America. It's between a man who believes America is good and decent against people who are behind Joe Biden, who think America isn't good. They think America is unjust and immoral from the days of our founding, and they are trying to undermine and transform this country. It's no more complicated than that. Folks, if you love this country, if you love America, the America you think exists, you don't have a choice in this election. Your only choice is President Trump. If you don't support President Trump here, you are going to end up facilitating the transformation of America into a country it was never intended to be.
That's him. You know what I think I want to do before we go on this break? For a brave man who changed everything, a man whose shoes I walk in, or I should say steps I walk in, but no one will ever fill his shoes. I want to play something here real quick. Let me get out of here real quick. Let me see. Hold on a second. I got to add it to the thing here, because I run all my own audio and everything. Let's see. Let's do this. I want to play something that we've did from. Should I do that? Hold on one second. Just give me a second. This is all improvised, obviously. This is all improvised. Let's see. Cancel. Okay, here we go. Let me add this to the thing, because this is something that Jim Gossett did a couple years ago that I wanted to share with you. Again, you've heard it. Here it is. A tribute to the man. We miss him every day.
With talent on loan from God.
A brave
I have my brain tied behind my back, to be fair.
You were the sunshine of our life, Rush. That's why we'll miss you oh so much.
You know, I'm the mayor of Realville here.
You cut down liberals like a knife,
Rush. El Rushball.
Forever you'll be number one.
I am Rush Limbaugh, household name.
America needed a hero
in all four corners of the world.
And then you came to our rescue.
The Limbaugh Institute for Advanced Conservative Studies.
Competition, you had zero. How could so much talent be inside of you?
And don't doubt it.
You were the sunshine of our life, Rush. That's why we listened every day.
That's it. It's not much more complicated than that.
You helped us get through all the strife, Rush. No one will ever take your place, because Rush was
audience expectations every day behind this, the Golden EIB microphone.
I could only hope to be as brave as you, Rush Limbaugh. He got the Congressional Medal of Freedom from Donald Trump. They invited him to the House of Representatives, and they gave him that honor because President Trump recognized he didn't have many days left. I started writing for Rush Limbaugh in 1989. He and I are entertainers with a educated opinion, knowledge, show prep, common sense. And again, no one will ever fill his shoes, but we walk in his footsteps. And I will tell you that I am here to overwhelm those who would take down our country with joy and faith and patriotism. And I am more committed to that than I have ever been, and you are my army, and I am serving with you. Let's take a break and come back. This is the Rob Carson Show.
Here's the deal.
One thing I would like to see updated is the word homeless to the word unhoused.
How about new?
All right, so I'm told we have our buddy Mark in Baltimore who's been dying to talk here for a while, and I'm telling you, sitting on there for an hour, you must have something to say. Marcus, what's up?
Yes, good afternoon, Shalom. And by the way, first I want to wish you a fortune language is a heap of speedy recovery. I'm very happy to hear, Baruch Hashem, that you have read the good news about your medical condition last hour. So you're a great mensch, as we say in the Hebrew world.
That's quite a compliment, by the way.
Yes, we really mean it and all that, and we really miss Rush Limbaugh, really. So I just want to start off with that. My simple question is, you were talking about Eric Swaltail, or whatever he says, in the several segments ago about his problems. So my question is, you remember every 4 years when we have presidential, vice presidential candidates running, they are vetted, like by the Secret Service and other authority to make sure they're kosher before they start running for their respective offices.
Yeah.
Should be time every 2 years or every 6 years, whatever it is, for a congressman or senator, whether they're running again or new candidates for the offices, to be vetted as well before they even be considered as such, because this is a major trust for the public nation. I know it's a lot of taxpayers' money, but at the same time, we believe in American integrity, and we don't want Swaltail. Remember, and you do remember Congressman Weiner.
Yes, of course.
Way back when.
Yes.
So what do you think about this idea of vetting all the federal candidates? Because we take this
100%
seriously.
And we ought to, you know what we ought to vet them for? Allegiance to the Constitution of the United States. And if you are a member of the Democrat Socialists of America, or you are a communist, you cannot run for office. Bleep you. You cannot run for office. If you have spent your life as someone who is anti-American, anti-Constitution, if you are anti-Western civilization, if you are pro-Sharia over the Constitution, every single one of you should not be allowed to run for office. And I'll mention to all of the Sharia-compliant Islamists in places like Dearborn, your days are numbered. If you are preaching and marching against the United States, chanting death to America, when Donald Trump wins both houses of Congress, I should say makes both houses gain seats in both, many of you are going to get your rear ends kicked the hell out of the country. That's going to happen in France. That is happening around the world. The world is getting sick and damn tired of it.
Well, we just want to wish you we praying for you every day,
I know, brother.
The fearless and everything.
I
just wish you so hope all for the best, and Lahitarot, as we say in Hebrew.
God bless you, brother. I appreciate you. Homeboys, Hebrews, and hillbillies, baby. So we all do it together. We all do this together. Do this together. I don't know if I want to do this. I got so much stuff here. You want to do something fun? Should we do something fun? Let's do something fun. Listen to this. So I was reading this story about how bad colleges have gotten. And I had mentioned that the university high school acceptance rates for UC Berkeley in the state of California is 15%. Mission High School, San Francisco, enjoys a UC Berkeley acceptance rate of 45%. Problem is, only 17% of Mission High's 11th graders scored proficient on or above English, along with 6% in math. Okay? 76 seniors who applied for UC Berkeley 2025 made up 29% of total senior class. There was one professor there. I teach calculus at Berkeley. Some of my students can't do middle school math since the University of California abandoned the SAT and the ACT. What kind of sense did that make? And here is, of course, Gavin Newsom being confronted about it with a non-answer.
Governor, you may have seen there's this open letter going around where 1,000 or more professors in the UC system are raising alarms about what they see as, in some cases, a severe lack of preparedness among college students who are heading into calculus and other advanced courses.
Have a private conversation out loud?
But I did want to get your position on what they're calling.
You were in on it, fool.
Forward, they're saying that the system needs to reinstate standardized testing as a part of admissions. So I wanted to get your position on that.
We all have our own perspective on this, and they could speak for their thought on their.
Answer the damn question, you idiot.
You could say what you think on this. Here's what I think, and I've said it.
He's going to say a bunch of nonsense.
Of course, last 6 months. I think it's an important discussion and debate. I'm open argument, interest in evidence. Show me the data. I have feelings.
The data is right. I just read some of the data, you moron.
About this. There's anecdotes about this.
Testing kids, strengthening primary education so people learn about reading, writing, and arithmetic, not DEI and CRT.
But I want to see the data. And I made that point at the rejection.
You're the governor. You should have already seen it because the schools have been failing for years.
The level at the UCs, talked to the president and talked to a member of the board and express that point of view.
Yeah, I'm not very optimistic because here is Gavin Newsom in 2014 saying that the high-speed rail was failing and never would be completed.
I was out there promoting a $33 billion project. I was out there promoting ridership that was 55% higher than the current projected ridership. I was there promoting a third of the money coming from the private sector, 25 to 33% from the federal government. I was out there promoting the fact that this would generate revenue and not cost taxpayers subsidy. I was out there promoting it, and none of those things now are taking shape. It's a
None of those things are taking shape.
$68+ billion project.
$68 billion back then. Now it's over 200.
They just announced 2 months ago went up another $1 billion just for this new 130-mile first phase. He started with
terrible governor. Here he is being asked, would he be a good president, and not admitting that he thinks he's a good governor.
Would you be a good president?
We'll see. I don't know.
But what do you think you would?
That's a difficult question to answer. I mean, so I have no idea. I would like to think I would be, but that's for others to determine. By the way, I think I was a pretty good mayor. I think I was pretty good, but people.
He didn't say I'm a good governor there. Listen to that. Listen to that carefully. Here he is. Hold on a second.
Determined. By the way, I think I was a pretty good mayor. I think I was pretty good, but people have different opinions. So
he didn't say he was a good governor. You know why? Because he's one of the worst governors ever. And he's never going to be the president. He's never going to be the president.
Thank Gavin. Gas is so high.
He's a terrible governor, human being.
$6 a gallon or more. Californians have to pay. Thank Gavin.
Jim Gossett.
And wave bye-bye. As more people leave his state every day.
Yeah, it's a suckhole.
Gavin went to China, made his way there. Californians wish that he would stay there.
Here is the good news. The Democrat socialists are collapsing. I know that some people are trying to convince you, Harriet, no, it's growing. No, it's not. It's hit the wall and it's careening into the infield. That's what's happening. Coming up, we got a comedian. She's funny as heck. Allie Breen brings it on the other side of this break. This is the Rob Carson Show.
The Rob Carson Show is presented by Paramount Plus.
This isn't the end of a fight. It's the start of one. Lioness, the critically acclaimed original series from Taylor Sheridan, returns August 2nd only on Paramount Plus. It's the new season. Hidden networks, foreign operatives, and personal betrayals collide while Joe walks the line between duty and family. Don't miss Lioness, starring Zoe Saldana, Michael Kelly, with Morgan Freeman and Nicole Kidman. Now streaming on Paramount Plus. guys, it's Carson. You know, when it comes to supplements, two things matter most. A, that it works, and B, that you can trust it. We hear from people every single day whose lives have changed, including mine, and we'd like you to hear a few of their stories. Chris has spent years of doing physical work, leaving his feet sore at the end of the day. After starting Relief Factor, he felt so good, he did something he'd never done before. He ran a half marathon. Now he tells all his friends about Relief Factor. I can still move furniture, I can still ride my mountain bike, I can still lift heavy weights, and Relief Factor makes all of those tasks pain-free for me. 3 weeks for just $17.76. Simply go to ReliefFactor.com or call 800-4RELIEF. We hope you'll soon be sharing your story with us too. Again, ReliefFactor.com or 800-4RELIEF.
We're taking the bathing suit competition out of beauty pageants. I'm not quite sure why. It's the questions that are a disaster. Right? They ask beauty queens questions world leaders can't answer. They're like, no president in the history of the U.S. has been able to solve peace in the Middle East. Tiffany, why don't you take a crack at it? Let's see what you got.
This is comedian Allie Breen, and she joins us on the Newsmax hotline right now. Allie Breen, welcome to the Rob Carson Show.
Thanks, Rob. Happy to be here.
Okay, we have a serious connection here because you have been working with the Bob and Tom Show, Indianapolis, Indiana, the greatest morning show in the history of morning radio, by the way.
Agreed. I love those guys. I just talked to them this morning. I do a weekly segment with them, and they are the most fun. They're the best.
Back in the day, I remember in the mid-'90s, they would put out these CDs with some of the best comedy. And one of the great things about Bob and Tom is that unfortunately one of them is now not with us anymore.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you, in the day, there was no show in America that celebrated stand-up comedy like Bob and Tom. They make stand-up comedians heroes. They took the best stand-up comedians on Bob and Tom shined better than any venue at all. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say, I know comics that said that they broke them. They got them into theaters, from coming from clubs to the theaters. Yeah, they were huge. Have been huge in comedy for a long time. They're like a stand-up comic's best friend. They're so good to us.
Yeah, and they also do satire. I write satire. I used to write all the political comedy on the Rush Limbaugh program for years, and I do produced stuff, song parodies. That's what Bob and Tom are known for, among other things. Yeah. I think it's a great way. It's a great venue, right? I mean, we've got comedians now who go up with a guitar, and there's nothing funnier than putting comedy to music. It's something not everybody does, but it's a great thing if you can do it, right?
Oh my God, it's fantastic. And I know it's really good because it's almost impossible to follow. They just get the room in a frenzy. It's unbelievable. Yeah, a really good guitar comic is fantastic. It's unbeatable.
But what you do, and I have enormous respect for stand-up comedians because they are a performer on stage who's essentially naked with a microphone. And when I'm talking about naked, I mean your soul. Right?
Yes, and just words, no tricks for the most part. I mean, once again, if you have another talent, like you can bring a musical instrument, that's great. But most of us are just going up there with thoughts. And it feels pretty naked. We're a crazy group of people. And when it goes well, there's nothing better than it. And when it doesn't go well, there's probably nothing worse.
Dude, you know what? I used to... Dave Chappelle talked me out of being a stand-up comedian. In about 2000, he had just finished Nutty Professor. He was just getting the Dave Chappelle show. He was in my studio in Cincinnati. He lives in Ohio, and we're sitting here talking, and we hit it off, man. I don't know something about it. And I said, Dave, I wish I'd do what you do for a living. And he goes, Rob, I wish I'd do what you do for a living. And I said, why? He goes, man, you don't want to be on the road. You don't want to be on the road. You got an audience and all. And I was like, yep. And I could do stand-up behind this mic, like Bob and Tom. If you can do them, I got millions of streamers. I got millions of listeners on radio stations and podcasts and all that. So it is a blessing, but stand-up on the road can be a bitch. We had a guy on 2 weeks ago, a comedian. He says he loves it. He never gets tired of it. How about you?
It's like a dichotomy for me. I have had great experiences. It's such an amazing way to see the United States and the rest of the world. I've done military tours. I've had amazing opportunities through stand-up comedy. And, stuff. Like, the 2016 elections, when everyone thought Hillary was a shoo-in,
yes.
I was on the road almost every weekend, and I was like, Trump's got this. Like, we are discounting all of Middle America, and I'm talking to these people every night.
Yes.
And so you really get to know the country, which is incredible. But on the flip side, it's so much travel. You have so much downtime. You're in a hotel room by yourself. I watched every Law & Order episode I could possibly watch. Eat some food constantly. I mean, there is a way to do it healthily, but almost none of us do. So it can become a drain. And I think guys like it a lot more because, people love to go out to drink after shows, and guys will hook up. And for women, it's a little less exciting for us. Like, I don't like to go out and drink with strangers. And I'm not looking to hook up after a show.
Yeah.
So I go home and watch Law & Order.
Usually your gender is the one who gets sexually assaulted. So, I get that.
Yeah, we're trying to protect ourselves.
See, this is the same thing for me in underwater welding. I just stay away from it. It's too dangerous. I got a little piece from you about a teacher who teaches the alphabet backward. There's your theme song, obviously. Here we go.
God, I just got off the phone with my goddaughter right before I came here. She was really excited because she just got extra credit in her class for learning the alphabet backwards. That's impressive, right? And there is a teacher who's definitely gotten a DUI. That's her right there, as a matter of fact. We're proud of you.
Yes.
I'm trying not to drink right now. Actually, I'm trying not to drink, and I went out with a guy the other night, and he was really upset that I wasn't drinking. And I didn't get it until finally it dawned on me. I was like, oh my God, I will still make bad decisions. That'll still happen. Do you see what I'm doing with my life? I think crackheads make better decisions than I do.
There you go, making fun of yourself. Was that a true story about the backward alphabet, or was that something you just created?
No, they did. They gave her extra credit.
Are you kidding me?
They assigned her that, or she learned it herself for the extra credit?
What do they do at recess? Did they walk a straight line at recess?
I know, exactly. Jim is touching your finger to your nose.
So, let me ask you this, because we went through a time of woke nonsense with regard to comedy, and a lot of comedians were not going on college campuses because these little snowflakes couldn't handle being offended. They don't get what comedy is. Are you thinking, because I think it's starting to turn around. What do you think?
I think it's definitely turning around. The problem is the voice of the few always overlaps the voice of the many. So you're always going to get one or two people who are loudly offended. And I think the culture, though, is to stop listening so closely to those people. So I think it's turning around. It's going to be a slow turnaround because it's against, some people's wishes to have that happen. But I think most of the country, with most things, most of the country is logical and they want the best for everybody. And then the few people who are crazy just, stop it from being fun and making progress for the rest of
Well, you know what? Honestly, and I don't give a damn. I have made up my mind that I suffer fools no more. If you don't like my show, it's really cool. You get to a certain age. I think I'm a few years older than you. You get to a certain age and you don't give a bleep what people think.
That.
Oh,
yeah.
It's so bloody glorious. Oh my God, you have no idea. On the other side of the break, I want to talk to you a little more. Can you stick with us, Allie Breen?
Yeah, I would love to. Absolutely.
AllieBreen.com, right? That's where you're AllieBreen.com?
Yep, exactly. Find me there.
I got to get your opinion about Jake Tapper being all butthurt about something Pete Hegseth said that was offensive. That's coming up. More with Allie Breen, comedian on The Rob Carson Show. Don't go anywhere.
Harford County.
Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth went to Iowa to campaign. He was at the Iowa State Fair Monday, and he used a slur against trans people. Take a listen.
We need guys like this man right here having our back in Congress as we get rid of DEI at the Defense Department. At the Department of War, we do training, not trannies. The only focus of our department, colorblind, gender neutral, merit-based. That's it. We want the best.
I mean, first of all, I'm still just not going to get over the fact of seeing like a current Secretary of Defense campaigning for somebody. I don't think I've ever seen anything like that before.
Correct. So he's upset that the Secretary of War got rid of transgendered individuals in the military, which used to be, by the way, considered a mental illness that would qualify for disqualification for the military, and he did it again. But Jake Tapper is a word burner. Allie Breen, comedian, by the way, alliebreen.com. What do you think about that, and what do you think about all of the words that have been burned over the years, and only certain people can say them and most can't?
Yeah, it's so unreasonable and ridiculous. And once again, he just passes over the point entirely to focus on a word. which, by the way, was part of a joke. I mean, that was a funny thing to say.
Yes.
He's making a good point while he's saying it. And meanwhile, where's the left getting all upset at all the things that they're calling Trump? Like, they're calling him Hitler. They're calling him all these things all the time.
Yes.
And why are they not getting upset with their own people about that? They just focus on every little tiny thing that can't. What happened to sticks and stones can't break my bones, but names will never hurt me? Like, these are military guys. They can take it. It's a joke. Relax.
And you know, have you ever been to a drag show? It is bawdy. They make fun of themselves. I've been to many drag shows, and they don't get it. If you call somebody in drag, you call them a tranny, they laugh at you. It's ridiculous. You know, I get so bloody tired. And you know, 2018 to 24 or so, there were words you just could not say. And I mean, I'm just done with that nonsense. The reason why comedy exists, the reason why the First Amendment exists, is that we have to be able to say offensive things, because if the government is offended by your speech, they will shut you down. And
exactly.
You may remember, I don't know where you are, if you're conservative, liberal, whatever. I'm a conservative. But you know, we were censored as conservative online. We couldn't even make fun of Anthony Fauci. Seriously, there were comedians, and there were editorial cartoons that were taken down. That's Cuba.
I mean, that was criminal. Like, SNL was just kissing his butt all the time. That was such a huge thing they could have made fun of, and they chose to do the opposite. And the bigger crime is that the doctors were silenced. I mean, forget about comedians, but anyone who actually had knowledge and knew that he was spouting untruths was also silenced. And the notion, you know, that you were talking about, where some people can say some words and others can't, and people are losing careers and reputations over it.
Yes.
That has to stop. Either everyone can say it or everyone can't say it. I'm sick of it too. It's like, and the notion that, like, people are itching to say these words so much because they mean them, and that's generally not the case. Like, a lot of times they're just part of jokes, which we've had throughout history, where we always make fun of genders, ethnicities, like disabilities. It's been something we can all laugh at throughout time, and now all of a sudden it's like everyone means it.
Well, I'm thinking of this young guy comedian who a lot of handicapped individuals come to his shows, and he adds them to the act. I can't remember his name, but literally they'll be there, and he will have, you know, one of them call him up. It's Matt Rife. Matt Rife. Have you ever heard Matt Rife?
Oh, yes. Yeah, he's huge.
Matt Rife. What does he do? You got people coming in, blowing on a straw to get to their seat there, and he goes over and he makes fun of them. And guess what? They freaking love it, because they're always so treated with kid gloves. They're always so, you know, oh, poor dear, this and that. And he'll go over and make fun of them, and they feel included, and they hug him. And Matt Rife is the real deal, isn't he?
Absolutely. And anyone, like, comics know that. The whole point of comedy is to bring people together. When you exclude someone because you think you're treating them better because you don't want to address their difference or disability, you're actually isolating them. I mean, make fun of them like you're making fun of everybody else. That's what they're there for. And it happens all the time. I have a goddaughter who's a lesbian. She and her girlfriend came to New York to see a show, and the comic made fun of them a couple times because they were very obviously a couple. And they were dying laughing, and there was this group of women behind them that afterwards said, "Oh my God, you guys are such good sports. Are you okay?" And they're like, "Why would we not be okay? He made fun of everyone in the room."
I got a bit where I come out on stage and I say, "Is there anybody here in the audience who thinks it's about time that handicapped people got fined for parking in regular spaces?" You know, I mean, seriously, I have to walk in there. You can just blow into a straw and roll in. Why am I parked further from you? And I tell you, the reaction I get is hilarious because it's absurd. Of course, it's not real. It is a scenario. It is an unreal scenario, and nobody gets offended. You know, there are always people who are willing to step up and be offended for other people. I identified them in Minneapolis when I was doing comedy up there. The original Karen. They were willing to step forward and say that that Indian mascots were bad. Do you know any Native? Are you a Native American? No, I'm not, but I know someone who is. The Karen has been the one to. It's never the group. The group could take a joke, right?
Yep, absolutely. Every single time, it's the people who stick up for the people. And those are the true racists. Those are people who are looking at the world through a scope of, oh, you're different than me. Oh, you need help. Oh, you're lesser than me. Like, that's exposing them.
Or you're too dumb to get an ID.
Yeah, or you're too light-skinned to take a joke.
Oh, my God. Allie Breen, are you touring anytime soon? Do you ever make it to D.C.?
I do occasionally. I haven't gone in a while.
Where's home for you? Where's home for you?
I'm New York City.
Oh, all right. Well,
I tend to go between New York, LA, and Florida quite a bit, and I haven't gone back on tour through the rest of the country, but I'm starting to like the road a lot more, as we were talking about, the problem women have on the road.
Well, if I come up and do my show in New York, we'll have you in the Newsmax studio. If you're down here, you're welcome in my studio. I built a studio here in Newsmax. But you really enjoyed talking to you. I really, really appreciate comedians. You're just funny as hell, by the way. Your stuff is out of the ball, and you work with Bob and Tom. Holy hell! Where can people find all your presents, everything about you? Not your home phone number and your address. No, I'm not kidding.
Exactly. I'm going to give you guys a
Social security number.
You right to me. I'm mostly on Instagram, so I'm just Allie Breen, ALLIBREEN on Instagram.
All right.
And the rest of social media, it's basically my name or some variation of it. If you just Google that, you'll see everything.
All right, we'll have you on another time. Great talking to you today. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Rob. That was a lot of fun.
You bet. Let's take a break and come back. This is the Rob Carson Show. Hi, guys. I have a battle plan. It's been 4 months of fear. Now I have a battle plan. I am taking ivermectin and Menben. Alrighty. Anyway. Good choice of meds. Ivermectin and Menben. Right now I'm on ivermectin and Menben, and I upped my ivermectin to 110 per day. That's 1 meg per kilogram. 220 of Menben. Okay? I'm going to back off the ivermectin a little bit. It's kind of affecting the vision a little bit, and now that I know it's not spread dramatically at all, then I can bring down the ivermectin and use it to stop it. My doctor just told me today I'm going to get on this Orgovix, and he said that it will stop the cancer immediately. Then we get ready for radiation. So surgery, we can't do surgery. It's fine with me, but there you go. I'm doing it all. And I'm going to share my experience with you and hopefully inspire you. I'm going to kick some ass. Oh, I got to play something funny here. This is a comedian doing a thing called The Price is White. And he's a black guy, and he goes out on the street to ask white people versus black people about perceptions that white people have about black people that use the soft bigotry of low expectations and insult the intelligence of black people, and it's really funny.
Welcome to The Price is White. Do you think most black and Hispanic New Yorkers support socialism?
Yes.
Yeah,
That's white people.
Yeah.
No. You don't think so?
No.
And those are the black people.
No, I don't support that's communism, right?
Pretty damn close, yeah. Socialism progresses to communism.
Yeah, no, I don't believe in that.
Do you think the DSA understands what black and Hispanic communities need?
All right, here we go with the white people.
They have a basis to go from. I think every day that they're getting better.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. 1,000%.
No.
Those are the black people.
Not at all. I don't think he speaks for me.
Do you think black and Hispanic New Yorkers want to defund the police?
Yes. Yeah, but I also think that they have good reason for it.
Those are the white people.
Police are supposed to fulfill a role. Maybe they do the opposite of what they're supposed to fulfill.
White.
I don't support it.
They're public servants. If they need money, you should give them money.
The police officers are here to protect us.
Donnie's tenant director basically said that home ownership is a tool of white supremacy, masquerading as wealth-building public policy. Would you agree with her on that?
As it stands, it's incredibly racially biased.
There you go, white people.
I feel like I agreed with that.
Yeah, I feel like it definitely could.
White.
Okay. It could, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that's the silliest thing I've ever heard.
That's a black guy.
I don't look at it on a racial landscape like that.
No, buying a home is not white supremacy because anybody could buy a home nowadays.
Wow, that is just amazing because Democrats say that you can't even get a driver's license. That is just crazy. That is just crazy. That's going to do it for the show today. I got some good news from the doctor today. We have a battle plan today. It's been 4 months. I've been waiting and testing, getting things sticked that have never been stuck before in places that have never been, let's just say, virgin territory. Had some needles, had some other stuff. Hasn't been dreadful. I still got a road to travel here and a battle plan, but I have a battle plan. I have a battle plan. And I know that you have helped me. I know you'll continue to help me. And I'm going to use this to help others. Tomorrow, by the grace of God, is finally Friday. God bless you. America is founded. Donald Trump, our troops, any who are suffering. And until tomorrow, do not catch the stupid. See you.
The Rob Carson Show is presented by Paramount Plus.
Information. Truth. Is freedom. Is Newsmax. It's real news for real people.